Okay, well, afternoon, everybody. I'm gonna go ahead and share um, our agenda for today. Okay, Nikki, that's fine. You can hop back on. It should be open. Nikki said she's gonna close out, but get back on her laptop for those of you who didn't see the chat. So let me share my screen here. Oop, Screen one. There we go. All right. So here's our agenda. I'll type on it as we go, just so I can keep up with it. But I'm gonna go ahead and call it to order at 12:03. Um, and we'll go ahead and we'll jump into it for the Harris Nicholas Bourbon Scott Regional Collaborative meeting for the month of April. So as always, I'll give us a financial report. We've still got lots of money. um, you can see kind of our budget right here, and then on our mid-year report, you'll see a better breakdown of how we've been spending stuff. Um, Still no major purchases that we've agreed to or signed with. Most of it's been, some transition backpacks or, some invoices for our website, those types of things. So no major stuff yet. Um, but you can see we spent about 28,000 in supplies, 65,000 in services. And I know those are a lot, but compared to our $210,000 that we have to spend, or I guess really 105,000 for the year, we have to spend it out by the end of June. We are kind of in a good spot. Um, so other about 6,800, and then administrative is 5,200. All those got broke down and whatnot. So we still have money to spend. So continue sending requests for things that you or your coworkers might need. Um, Olivia, I should probably get with you at some point and talk about some offering some trainings again. I believe we still have some of the Brigances or ASQ ones available. I don't think those all got used up. So
Okay.
go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, that sounds good.
Okay. I'm gonna make a note that I email you after this when I can look at
Sure,
my
perfect.
calendar
That sounds great.
and talk with you. Let's see what else. There was something. Oh, speaking of financial stuff, I don't know if any of y'all are going to ECI, the Early Childhood Institute, put on by the governor's office. That's next week, couple weeks from now, and it's here in Lexington. But we wrote it into our budget plan, and it was approved to reimburse and pay for some registration fees to ECI. So if any of you, or if you know of anybody within our service area that is going to ECI, you can put them in touch with me and we can talk about maybe getting them reimbursed for their registration. That's more than allowable and we got the money for it. So you can share that all you want. Feel free to share my email as well. Before we move on to the mid-year report, which includes kind of a narrative of our finances and kind of what we've been doing, are there any questions or comments about the finances and the budget? Okay, let me stop sharing, pull up my other share screen. Share. Okay. All right. Make sure everybody see the mid-year report. Yes. Okay. There it goes. It popped up. All right. So this is our mid-year report. It was due back in February after our February meeting, and then of course we didn't have a March meeting. So we're just going to ratify this. It's already been sent through to the governor's office, but I can send a ratification on. So what we'll do is I'll just run us through it real quick. And then we'll take a vote to see if everybody approves it, and then that'll be ratified and we'll be good to go. So this is our mid-year report for 2022-24 grants. This is we're in 23, so that's the mid-year part of it for us. So as of this, and this was February numbers, so we've spent money since then. So this won't include money that we spent, so the numbers might be a little bit lower than other reports that you see. But for the purchase of services, we requested 130,000 and we've only spent 1,200 of it. And so the reason that's so low and that amount so high is because within the purchases of service, we said that that was going to include our CDA initiative where we promote and reimburse people who are getting their CDAs. And I haven't had any requests for that yet. So that's why that is still fairly unspent at this point. Travel, there's nothing in that category. Um, Supplies, this is Dolly Parton, this is the ECI registration, this is classroom things, transition backpacks. And so that's why we spent more money in that area. Um, the administrative, we're only limited to 5% of our total budget, so that's why it's requested for 10,500 bucks. But we've only spent 750 of it currently, so no biggie there. And then other, uh, you can see that we've spent a little bit over what we've requested, which is fine. I can always do a budget revision, budget amendment request, so no stress there. Most of the stuff that I'm anticipating us wanting to need are gonna be transition backpacks and summer school things are always a big request. ECI registrations, CDA stuff, and then our contracts, like if we were to go through, get something with EC Learn or for our website stuff, those are, I anticipate are bigger expenses. And so all of those will come out of the other categories. So I'm not worried about the other category. Um, and then below it, you'll see this is all of our strategies and initiatives that we put in our request for application that we approved last year when we sent it in. And I won't go through all this. I think I sent this to y'all in an email, and I'll send it again in my follow-up. So you can always look over it again if you want to. Um, but these are just some of the outputs and data points that we have from some of our um, strategies and initiatives. Uh, the Dolly Parton Library has been popping. It's been good. Bourbon County has been reaching out to me for some of their invoices as well as Harrison County. Nicholas and Scott, we're still kind of working on getting those up off the ground and kind of taking off more like the other two counties. But what we've committed to for sure is 5,000 per year for each county to go toward their Dolly Parton Library pot of money that they use to send the books out. And then we have some additional funds as well, so we can also contribute an additional 5,000. So essentially $10,000 a year for each county, which is a lot of money and a lot of books. Bourbon County is getting their Dolly Parton thing back up. I've been working with Mark Adler with him. And then Nicholas County, I'm still trying to get an in with them, let them know that we have money for them when they are or when they're ready for it. And the other stuff is on here. Learning kits is things I was talking about is always popular. A project coordinator is something that I think we should be thinking about, and maybe we don't have to worry about it this particular year. Maybe we can do it, here in a few months. But might be helpful for us, especially since I'm so scatterbrained and I miss things. We can have a project coordinator that might help us get things back organized and maybe distribute stuff more frequently and efficiently. And that's allowable, and that's also in our budget. That would go into our administrative costs that I was talking about earlier. So we don't have to take a vote on it today unless somebody wants to make a motion to bring it forth, but it's definitely something that I would like for us to tackle in the next couple of months. And then the CDA initiative we haven't done anything with it yet. And so we can always, I imagine now things might be dying down, but for those of like our daycares and stuff that are working with infants and toddlers in the summer schools, over the summer months, we are able to pay for some of those CDAs. Not everybody's, because CDAs are expensive, but a few. And so that's in our budget as well. And these bottom two is branded materials. If y'all remember, if y'all were here last year, we got some shirts and some promotional items, and stress balls and tablecloths and stuff like that. We still have some of that stuff left over. We got a renewed amount to buy some more of those things. So At some point, we can always buy some more of those if there's something specific that you feel like your community or the people you work with would really benefit from that we can kind of put our name on. Let me know and we'll make it. I'll get some t-shirts too if people have any design ideas that we want. And then our website has finally been updated. Has anybody been on our website lately? Kate has, yeah. It's looking much better than what it was. Um, and so I try to meet with Trivecta people. That's the company that does the website for us, bi-monthly. And so if there's ever anything that y'all want to add to it or, maybe edit, let me know and I'll take that with them. Take that with me next time I meet with them. So I just spewed a lot of information. Before I go into the narrative, does anybody have any questions or comments so far?
I do, and I'm sorry because this I'm sure will be a repeat, but I'm kind of coming in a little bit mid-year. But can you explain to me with the CDA project what you are having what that looks like? Because I know we have scholarships available in Kentucky, so I'm just curious where that fits.
Yeah. So at the time when we were doing our RFA for this, a big concern that we were hearing from not just people on this committee, but our networks was obviously the staff shortage and some of the educational requirements. So we thought, well, how can we help? We can't really afford to do tuition reimbursement for people who want to go into some other stuff, but we can help with CDAs. So I think we had budgeted around 10-ish. I believe I have to look back exactly on how much money we set aside for it, but it was somewhere between 8 to 10 people that we would reimburse for their CDAs fees and registrations and their hours so that somebody could employ somebody who was getting their CDA and wouldn't have to worry about their salary while they're getting that CDA.
Okay.
That was the idea behind it. And I think we said like the hourly rate that we would reimburse would be $13 an hour, I think is what we said. Again, I can look back and get clarification and send that out, but obviously that has some logistics involved in with it and some HR stuff. And so nobody's has wanted to take that leap yet.
Gotcha.
There's
Okay.
money set aside for that.
Great. Thank you.
Okay. I won't read all the narrative questions, but they are there for you if you have comments or concerns or if you want to review them. Basically, it's the same questions that we always answer. How do we collaborating and coordinating in our community? What are some barriers that we're working through, and what's a lesson that we've learned this quarter? Those are the questions, and then I had to sign it to send it in. So at this point, does anybody want to make a motion to ratify this? And then we would need a second so that I can say we've done it and I can send it back to the governor's office.
I can motion.
Thanks, Zach. I was getting a little worried there for a second. Anybody willing to second it?
This is Nikki Mullins. I will second.
Thank you, ma'am.
And I can not see anyone, but I can hear everyone.
Okay.
Technical difficulties here.
Absolutely. All right, so I'm going to stop sharing that and I'll go back to the agenda. Share. Okay. So some of the new business after the mid-year report, we've kind of already talked about a co-chair or a project coordinator. They can maybe be, well, they can't be both, but one or the other I think would be helpful to continue building our collaborative and making it more efficient. So like I said, we don't have to vote on it today. It's just maybe something we can take home and think about, and maybe in the next meeting or 2 meetings, we can maybe take nominations, or if somebody has a reference that they want to put forth for a project coordinator that we can pay a fee to, then we can always talk and vote on that as well. So that's something to be thinking about. Scott and Nicholas County are two of our counties that we kind of struggle to get the most engagement with. Not that there aren't people there that are involved with us, but Harrison and Bourbon kind of take it to a next level. And so, of course, we want to make sure that the 4 counties that we serve and that we're involved with are all operating at the top peak of efficiency and engagement. So, and I don't know if we have anybody in here that's specifically just Scott or Nicholas County.
Jonas, both Carrie and I actually live in Scott County, and so I'm still in communication with Scott and Mary Lou, and I had just reached out to them not very long ago to see, what kind of early childhood initiatives were happening, and it sounds like there hasn't been, anything in addition to kind of their work-related duties. But if you have like a one pager or something that could outline for me the goals of what you're trying to achieve, and that probably already exists as a part of the grant narrative or something. But I think that Carrie and I could possibly set a meeting with Scott and Mary Lou, and if you would like to join us, and just to start talking about, like, are there opportunities to get re-engaged in Scott County? I think Parks and Rec would be a really good entity to pull in.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And you're right, there is something out there that exists, but it's a kind of a broad
Yeah.
thing. So I'll work on kind of narrowing down and making it more specific
Okay.
for us and for our individual counties.
That'd be great,
and-
especially
and-
if there was something this year that you want to get done, like over the next couple months, since we already know we're almost at the end of this year. We could, go that route too.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, yeah, feel free to include me on that meeting. People like having me on the meeting in these regards, because I say, hey, we got some money. And then people are like, okay, cool, give us the money. And so, yeah, I'll be happy to join if y'all have me there. Because I do feel bad for Nicholas and Scott County, because they just haven't been and it's not because, like I said, it's not because we don't have people there that are passionate about early childhood. It's just more of a logistical type thing. It's hard to get people involved and make sure that they know about us and what we have to offer. So yeah, any meetings that y'all have, I'm happy to hop on or join if it's in person. So
Yeah, I'll see what I can do, because I know that Scott County had a very active, Bourbon Scott had a very active early childhood council a number of years ago, but then the pandemic kind of fizzled everything out. And then when we combined, it just made it a little bit more difficult logistically. And I think Nicholas County is a very small county, but we have someone on our team. I don't know if Allison Heitmeyer has ever come to this meeting.
Mhm.
Okay, so Allison has connections in Nicholas too. So we might, maybe we can put our brains together and figure out some way that we can help with them too.
yeah, fantastic.
Yeah, and Pete, if you want to include EC Learn to help
Absolutely.
with family childcare,
For sure.
I'd love
for
to
sure.
be a part of that as well.
Okay. And Olivia, that's you in all of those counties, right? Yeah.
That's me in all of them. So
Okay.
it's
Yes, I will get you in
so
there.
if
for sure.
anyone knows of anyone that's interested in family childcare or has an event that I can attend, just for recruitment purposes and educate people on what family childcare is, please let me know, and I would love to send you a flyer or be in attendance. And I'll put my email in the chat box.
Perfect. Thank you. Yeah, I know I think all of y'all actually have been involved with this longer than I have. I didn't get involved with regional collaboratives or the CECCs as they used to be until after all the merging and combining happened. And so, but from me talking with other chairs and other collaborators and stuff like that, it seems like it either went one of two ways. One, it either went really, really well, because then there were more people to help out with projects and community engagement and stuff, or it went really, really poorly because now there's more people, but there's also a wider area that where you're serving, and it's harder logistically to get stuff out there. So I would say that our specific collaborative kind of has been struggling getting everybody together, and that's no one person's fault. And so there's always talk about it whenever there's like governor's office of the early childhood, every time they have webinars or there's meetings or communications that we have to join, that's always something that pops up. So which kind of bleeds into this next point on the agenda where it's like, how can we engage the community? Our big goal that we've talked about in the past before was having a calendar, and then we could take volunteer and take turns and send stuff there, and have host special events sponsored by the regional collaborative in these counties. We're just not to that point yet. I just don't see that happening, soon. I know that's where we all want to get to. But we decided the past year, and we put this in our RFA as well, that our strategy to kind of combat that is community knowledge and education, which means getting our name out there, letting people know we're here. And then once people know what we do and what we have to offer, then we can maybe start advancing some of our sponsored events and more initiatives and things like that, which is then blended into us getting merch, water bottles, tumblers, sunglasses, dress balls, tablecloths, those types of things, led to us getting a website. And so feel free to share that website and merch, and continue getting our name out there. I've actually been getting people reaching out to me because my email is the one that's tied to the website. If you have questions or comments, or you want to contact us, and it's my email. Because I didn't feel like putting that on anybody else. So we've been getting hits on our website, which is really encouraging, meaning people are searching for early childhood and we're popping up, and they're sharing our information. One of those email comments that I got was from Byte, which I don't know if I hadn't heard of them beforehand until I researched them, and this person reached out to me. And they said that their child was really influenced by Byte. It's a oral health company, but they do a lot of community outreach, and they offer a lot of free oral health materials and education, including for kids with developmental delays or disabilities or sensory sensitivities. And so they here, let me pull it up and share something, because they asked if they could be included on our resource page of our website. And I said, well, I can't just do that. We have to vote and everything. And so they said, that's fine. They just wanted to make it known that it was helpful for them as a parent. So let me share this screen real quick, just so that y'all can kind of see what I was looking at. And they sent me. So this is the Byte website. So they did developmental disabilities or health, and talked about the broad statistics of it, but then like specific delays and disabilities, how you can help with oral health and make sure that that's being taken care of. And then of course they have their plug and how Byte as an organization can help. They are a private company, so they do plans and stuff like that, but they also do a lot of community outreach as well. So anyway, so that's something that we can be thinking about. But I wanted to make a motion and see if anybody would be willing to second putting Byte on our resource page for families and people who log on as a resource. So I'm going to make a motion to put that on there. Does anybody want to second that? And if not, that's okay. We can have more discussion. I'll just bring it back again next month. But
I think my only hesitation, and I don't know if I'm an official voting member of this collaborative right now or not, but is because it's a .com, not a .org, is there a cost to any of their benefits, or is there a for-profit, issue that we would need to consider?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. They are, so, and this is because then I reached out after this parent sent it to me, I reached out to them, to the Bite people for clarification, because I had that exact question. Um, and while they are private and they do commercial stuff, like you do have to pay for things, there's a community aspect to it. So they have scholarships and grant, like for kids living in poverty. There is a program where you can apply and get some free oral health care type stuff. Um, Now granted, I mean, there is you have to apply to it and, enter into that database, so that they know the demographics and stuff like that. Um, but there is a component of community outreach and charitable giving and things like that. So um, there, it's a bit of both to answer your question. Um, and so that was another reason I was like, no, I can't just put this on there because I wanted to bring that up for discussion. And if we don't feel comfortable with putting them on there, and that's totally fine, um, we can always, I can email them back and say, hey, I can share your information with our collaborative, and then as fit, we can share that with people that we come in contact with. Can you send us some promotional materials if that's something we're more comfortable with as a voting body of this collaborative?
I think another thing to keep in mind is that I understand that typically the schools already have a program that comes in and offers services. So I hesitate to offer another community service, you wouldn't want to confuse it with what's already being offered. And I'm not sure what the parameters on that are also. So because I know we kind of represent a lot of the schools.
Yeah,
So
no,
I feel like we need to do a little digging and check into some of those things first.
I can speak up for Paris anyway. This year we have had the health department came and they just did screenings and fluoride, and then, but there's no treatment or anything. We will refer. It is hard to get parents to go the next step. And we are hoping that we can get another program in where they can do things here next year. I don't know if that helps at all or not.
no, that's good information because I didn't realize the extent that we already had oral health involved with our schools. Um, and so no, that is helpful information.
I know Scott has people come in at least once, if not twice a year, and they assess, but I know that if a child needs care, a parent just has to sign off. And I know we had to, when I worked in Scott County schools, the dentist would come in and have a space in the library and actually do work. So it goes a little bit further. It sounds like than just assessment. So that's why I kind of hesitate. We should figure that out first.
Yeah, absolutely. Perfect. Okay, so we're gonna say that motion failed. We'll follow up with additional information on the next meeting. Because yeah, no, if we already have stuff going on with this, like obviously county specific things are much more important than bringing in an outside resource. So yes, I agree totally, Carrie, with what you're saying, and Nikki, you as well. So okay, so let me make notes of that. All right. So some announcements before, because it's 12:31. I apologize. I was trying to get us out here by 12:30, respect people's times. Conscious discipline. That's usually something that I hear, every now and then. We have e-courses and textbooks that we can offer. The e-courses get you access for a year for you and your staff. If that's something that you or you think somebody might be interested in, reach out to me, and we would just need the names and the numbers of who they're wanting and what they're wanting. And then EC Learn, like I mentioned earlier, me and Olivia will get together and kind of maybe hash out some additional things that we can offer. And then, like I said before, talking about financial things, continue sending me requests for things. It doesn't just have to be daycares or schools. Kate, Carrie, Olivia, Zach, if there's something that y'all feel like you might need as you're going out in the communities and stuff that we can help sponsor with, we're more than allowed to help provide things for y'all as well. It doesn't have to be just for specific school staff or daycare staff. It can be for organizational things as well. And then there's a new grant that opened up through the state of Kentucky. And I'm not sure if y'all saw this announcement or not, but it's basically to help start up new daycares and early childhood schools or classrooms, I mean. So if that is something that you're interested in, there's not much that we can help as a collaborative other than, maybe providing some numbers or some help with it if you need some maybe some money to get somebody to write the grant for you or connections. But I wanted to make sure that I shared that announcement and put the link to it on the agenda so that we can share that. I think the deadline's coming up in here next month or so, if not before. I think. So, but anyway, that's exciting news. So I want to make sure that y'all know about it as well. Are there any other discussions or comments that we should have while we're all here together? Okay. Eventually we'll have, the goal is to kind of get us in subcommittees once we grow our numbers a little bit and we can get some more consistency from my end about meetings and efficiencies and stuff like that. Other collaboratives have reported that's been really helpful for them. Is having subcommittees. So a couple people, 3 or 4, handling events, another handling the finances, another, whatever it is that we feel like we need. So that is something that we can look forward to eventually at some point. But as always, feel free to reach out to me if y'all have questions or comments, if y'all want me to hop on a meeting, or if you need something from me, you got my email. I'm happy to help however I can. So without further ado, we just need a motion to adjourn, someone to second it, and we'll call it wraps for today.
A motion.
Thank you, Olivia.
I will second Nikki.
All right, thank you, Nikki. All right, everybody. Hey, I appreciate y'all. I'll work on getting the summary put together and I'll send it out along with the recording. And then hopefully by the end of this week, I'll get that out to y'all. So, all right, thanks everybody.